between a manager and a leader. So a difference, let's just look at four differences, and that's where we'll call it a day in terms of this session today. So a manager has the eye on the bottom line, but a leader has the eye on the horizon and the big picture. A manager has the eye on the bottom line, whereas a leader has the eye on the horizon, the big picture. So manager, just the word manager, how much are we making? Are we making money? Are we making money? Are we making money? But for a leader, being in a strategic position is looking at it from, even if you don't make money now, you make money in the future. I don't know whether you, there's this saying let's say in the market day, Thomas Ogbe, Ajadi, probably you make a sacrifice. Maybe probably you sell something that is at a cheaper price to somebody. But because you have a bigger picture in place, probably you are selling it at a cheaper price just because you want to draw the person closer, and after you draw the person closer, the person now trusts you, the person has believe in the services that you render. In the future, you can charge the person even much more than what other people, but because there's a trust that has been established, that's looking at it from the big picture. Because if you look at it just from the money, there's always a tendency that you will lose people. Okay. Number two, managers work with cycles of influence, or circle of influence using power. I will sack you now, get this done immediately, and all of those things. Those are managerial language. Okay. And they use those languages to control their subordinates, while leaders work with circle of influence using inspiration and influence to upon their followers. They are carrying people along. People are motivated. People are being driven to achieve the particular goal, and people see themselves in the picture. I remember somebody asked me a question. The person wanted to resign from a real estate company to go and start his own real estate company. And he asked me a question. He said, what has kept me long? He was just asking me, what has kept me long? That was the question, but that's not all the question. And one of the answers I gave him was that my ability to see myself in the vision, in the bigger picture. And that is very, very important. Everybody that is following you must be able to see themselves in the bigger picture. If it comes, if ever happens that you cannot see yourself in the big picture, what it invariably means that you are going to leave. There's always tendency that you are going to leave. But at every point in time, you must always ask yourself, where am I in the bigger picture? Because if your followers are not seeing, the so-called followers, let me put it that way, because really everybody, we are all on the same level. It's just we have privilege is what is different. So if people are not seeing themselves in the bigger picture, there's always going to be tendency that they will start following you. So the big picture is what we use and we constantly use to influence people that we are privileged to lead. Okay. Number three is that the manager imitates while leaders originate. Okay. A manager can imitate somebody. Okay, because this person is saying it this way, let me say it to that way. Whereby a leader always find originality in everything that they do. You must always bring out the original. Let people see that this thing is coming straight from your heart. It's not coming from, yes, book will inspire us, people will inspire us, but whatever you get is inspired by, you can always find a way to make it, localize it to the company's vision, to the organization's vision, and all of those things. So that is very, very important. Okay. And lastly, a manager accepts the status quo, whereby a leader challenges it. That's one of the things that I've seen in our own leader here in terms of the CEO, Mr. Oladipo Clement. I remember joining many years ago, and he shared, he came back from a trip. He has shared the story many times, over and over again. And some of us have heard the story. But from my own perspective, he came back then and he shared with us on if you want to go far, if you want to go far, you go together. But if you want to go fast, you go alone. So the decision for us was, do we want control, or do we want control, or we want to release control? So if we want control, that means we are going fast. We want to go alone. But if we want to release control, that means what? We want to go very, very far. And that's what gave birth to this community manager, because we all strongly believe that it cannot just be, I mean, how many things we know? There are people here that have even far better experiences than us. So we are just privileged to be sitting where we are seated right now. So I think that will be all for now. So, so if there are any question or any subtraction or addition, I'll be able to take before we move to the next thing on the agenda. So thank you for listening, and thank you for allowing me to represent the CEO this morning.